So, hello everyone. Budget has finally been presented by the Finance Minister of India. Interim budget was already presented earlier this year, but because this government was undergoing election, so a full-fledged budget was expected to be announced this month only. And finally, we have all the data. Make sure that you subscribe to my Telegram channel as well as my YouTube channel so that you can get updated about these very important things. So, this budget has been Nirmala Sitharaman's 7th budget, Honorable Finance Minister of India, and under the current government, this is the 13th budget that has been presented. Also, she has surpassed former FM Finance Minister Morarji Desai's record of presenting budget consecutively. This is the 7th consecutive time that she has presented this budget. The theme for this year's budget is Viksit Bharat Budget 2024. Viksit Bharat, that we have this particular goal that by the year 2024 we have to become developed by every means, and we are focusing on four major castes over here: Garib, that is poor; Mahilaएं, that is women; then we have Annadata, that is farmer; and Yuva, that is youth. The theme of the budget is around employment, skilling, MSMEs, that is micro, small and medium enterprises, and the middle class as well. So for employment, for the unemployed youth, the government has come up with around many schemes. We are going to talk about those schemes as well. Now, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's speech for this year, specifically for this budget, was 58 minutes long. However, as you can see, back in 2020 she delivered it for 159 minutes. This is of course the COVID year. That is why we were expecting a budget like this. And if we talk about costlier items versus cheaper items, costlier would be telecom equipments, non-biodegradable plastics. However, this is a dent for becoming plastic free India. Then ammonium nitrate is also going to be costlier. Another very important thing over here is to know about the cheaper items. Mobiles and accessories, it is a Digital India push, it is going to be cheaper. Gold and silver and platinum are also going to be cheaper. Seafood, leather and footwear, solar energy parts, cancer medication, this is to be cheaper. Of course, in India we are registering many cancer cases, so this is a good thing. Other than this, Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana is also going to give a boost to the residential solar power sector, so that is also a good thing. Now let's talk about the new tax regime. As you can see, from 0 to 3 lakh per annum, taxation will be nil, and from 3 to 7 lakh per annum, it will be 5%. From 7 to 10 lakh, 10%. From 10 to 12 lakh, it will be 15%. Thereafter, 12 to 15 lakh, there will be 20%. And apart from that, more than 15 lakh, it is going to be 30%. However, there is an estimation that a common man would be able to save up to 17,500 rupees per year because of ITR. Okay, now moving on, if we talk about where does the rupee come from, as you can see, the highest amount of rupee, it is coming from the borrowing and other liabilities that the government borrows from the RBI and other banks in India, domestic borrowing, as well as where the government is borrowing from the outside, IMF, World Bank. Thereafter, on the second place, we have income tax that we file. After that, GST stands third over here. Where does rupee goes to? Where does the government spend? This is the income part, where the rupee comes from, and this is the expenditure part. So as you can see, 21% stands at states' share of taxes and duties. That means what the states have a share in the collection of taxes that the government does. Thereafter, we have with 19%, we have interest payments. The government pays interest on the loans that it has garnered. This is an expenditure, a very important expenditure. Thereafter, we have other important facets such as 16%. With 16%, the central sector scheme, the scheme that actually is given completely by the government, the funding for which is 100% by the union government, that stands third. Now, defense has received the largest amount of allocation in the budget. Then we have rural development, agriculture and allied activities. We have home affairs. However, health, energy, social welfare, commerce and industry are at the lower ring. Okay. Now, major allocation to the major schemes. Manrega has increased its allocation. There is an increase in the allocation of budget under Manrega. It is 86,000 crore rupees. Thereafter, for the research and development projects that entail space and education, both health and sector, everything, 1,200 crore rupees. Thereafter, Thereafter, nuclear power projects for clean energy, it is 2,228 crore rupees. For PLI in the pharmaceutical industry, we have 2,143 crore rupees. All right. Thereafter, if we talk about the total receipts that are estimated for this year, it will be 32.07 lakh crore. Total expenditure is going to be much larger. That means government always tries to spend more than it earns, then only it can be seen as a welfare government, right? Thereafter, net tax receipts are this much. Gross market borrowing are estimated to be rupees 14.01 lakh crore rupees. Fiscal deficit is 4.9% of GDP. We are lessening the fiscal deficit. That means we are trying to bridge the gap between the expenditure and the revenue. Okay, so this will be we want to make it to come to at least 4.5% by the next year. Now, interim budget was also presented because this government was observing elections this year, so a provisional budget by the name of interim budget was provided for. And here are the certain data which was important for me to make you understand this particular concept, because it was earlier something else, now it has been coming down. Fiscal deficit target for fiscal year 2025 was 5.1% of the GDP, as you can see. Now we are narrowing it down. That there is no changes to income tax rates. 2 crore more houses are to be taken up in the next 5 years under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for Grameen sector. Then under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, crop insurance is to be given to 4 crore farmers. 1 crore households will obtain 300 units of free electricity through rooftop solarization, and as you saw that solar panels are going to become cheaper. Okay, then as you can see here, we have 9 key priority sectors for the budget 2024. First, productivity and resilience in the agriculture industry, employment and skilling, social justice, manufacturing and services, urban development, energy security, infrastructure, innovation, R&D, and next generation norms. And the main focus areas which is considered to be a caste, as you can see, I have already told you the 4 major castes. Now, in agriculture, for transforming the agricultural research sector, there is need of research in agriculture sector, because agriculture sector is now stagnant in nature. For oil seeds such as mustard, groundnut, sesame, soya bean and sunflower, India needs to become Atmanirbhar. That means we need to grow our own thing and also export it. Release of new varieties of 109 new high yielding variety and climate resilient variety of 32 fields and horticulture crops, because we need to become climate resilient. Right now the climate sector is impacting the agriculture sector a lot, so that is why we need such genetically modified crops which can stand the hostilities of climate change. For vegetable production and supply chain, promotion of farmer producer organization so that farmers become much more empowered together. National cooperation policies for systematic, orderly and all-round development of cooperative sector. And thereafter, for natural farming, 1 crore farmers across the country will be initiated into natural farming. That means farmers will have to depend on natural sorts of fertilizers, insecticides, weedicides, pesticides, and not totally depend on chemical ones. 10,000 need-based bio-input resource centers will also be established. Again, shrimp production and export financing for shrimp farming, processing and export will be facilitated through the NABARD. Thereafter, digital public infrastructure will be there for farmers and their lands in 3 years. Digital crop survey will be done in 400 districts, and issuance of Jan Samarth based Kisan credit cards will also be there, which was introduced in the year 2015. Kisan credit cards help the farmers to get loans at much easier rates, interest rates. Then agriculture sector, there is a provision of rupees 1.52 lakh crore rupees. Total allocation is this much. Alright, now let's move on and talk about the next one. Employment and skilling. The Prime Minister package has provided for 3 schemes for employment linked incentive. That means if somebody is going to employ someone, they will get incentives. For example, scheme is for first timers. Here, 1 month wage to new entrants in all formal sector. That means if you're looking for job job right now, and if you enter into the job sector for the first time ever, you will get 3 installments up to rupees 15,000 in a year. Thereafter, this is a 1 month wage. I mean to say over here that you will get it for one time only. Okay, it will be expected that 210 lakh youth will be benefited. Then scheme B is for job creation in the manufacturing sector. As we know that there are 3 areas where India has to do good. First is agriculture sector, then we have manufacturing sector, and then we have service sector. So India is one of the few countries which has jumped directly from agriculture to services. Manufacturing sector is not very well versed. That is why we need to do job creation in the manufacturing industries, so that more and more skilled as well as unskilled employment can be created. Thereafter, here incentives will be provided to both employees and employers for EPFO contribution. Thereafter, we have scheme C. This is for employers. Government will reimburse EPFO contribution of employees up to rupees 3,000 per month for how many years? 2 years. Thereafter, it was expected that it will generate 50 lakh jobs. So job creation is one of the things that the current government is completely relying upon. Reason being that the opposition is trying to corner the government on the fact of job creation only, that people are unemployed in this country. Specifically, challenges in the economic survey, as it was pointed out, due to artificial intelligence, people may lose a lot of jobs, and it has recently been suggested that only 51% of the graduates are actually employable, and this is not a really good news. So this is just 51% of the total population is total graduate population is actually there for employment. That means the other 49% are either unskilled or they are not getting the kind of job they want. For skilling, the new centrally sponsored scheme has been inaugurated for skilling in collaboration with states, industries. 20 lakh youth are going to be skilled in the next 5 years. Now this is a really ambitious number, and 1,000 industrial training institutes, that is ITIs, they will be established in order to ensure that youths are skilled. The youth is skilled of this country. Course content and design aligned as per the skill needs of the industry. That means the demand of the skill that is needed for this industry and the supply of the skill has to be matched. Now it will facilitate higher participation of women specifically. Loans up to 7.5 lakh crore with a guarantee from the government promoted fund will be there. It is expected that 25,000 students per year will be helped. Thereafter, if I talk about direct e-vouchers will be given to 1 lakh students every year. Annual interest subvention will be of 3%. This is a great one. Now 2 lakh crore package also has been announced for 5 schemes on job and skilling of 4.1 crore youth. Now how many schemes have been launched? 5 schemes have been launched for job creation, that you have to remember. Skilling program and upgradation of ITIs, I have already told you this. And internship in top companies will also be there for 1 crore youth. They will be skilled by India's top companies in the next 5 years. This is a push, the government, any government in a country such as India has a population of 1.4 billion people, and most of the population is in the working age category. So it is hard for any government to employ so many people, so that it needs to engage private sector a lot. That is what it is doing. 12-month Prime Minister's internship will also be provided. Monthly allowance of rupees 5,000 will be there. Thereafter, for inclusive human resource development, as you can see, Purvyodaya, that is Vikas Bhi Virasat Bhi, this scheme is launched. This is a plan for endowment rich states in the eastern parts. For example, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, so that they can get employment opportunities in the Viksit Bharat. Now, Amritsar Kolkata Industrial Corridor will be developed, and the industrial mode will be there at Gaya. That means lots of employment specifically for skilled and unskilled both. Allocation of more than rupees 3 lakh crore will be there for schemes benefiting specifically women and girls. So this is a gender budgeting thing. Pradhan Mantri Janjatiya Unnat Gram Abhiyan, this was also launched, improving the socio-economic conditions of tribal communities. I will discuss it later on. Now moving ahead, changes in custom duty has been done. fully exempt 3 more cancer medications from custom duties, and this is something we need right now, because non-communicable diseases such as cancer and heart attacks, it is increasing. That is why we need affordable medication. Now there is also, I have already told you, mobile industry, domestic value addition, all this is getting cheaper in nature. For space sector, rupees 1000 crore venture capital fund has been generated in order to push the space economy for 5-fold expansion in the next 10 years. Specifically, right now we are planning Chandrayaan 4, Aditya L1 is already there. There is Gaganyaan mission. There is Venus orbital mission. So Bharatiya Antariksh Station. So many things have been already planned. We need to put it in progress with the help of budget allocation. 3 schemes have been announced for employment linked incentive. I have already told you that. I have written it here as well so that you can revise it later on. Moving on. Now let's talk about revision of model skill loan scheme. The finance minister has proposed that the model skill loan scheme should be remodeled, and it will help 25,000 students per year so that they can go there, learn the skills, and accordingly supply the skills that are in need. Setting up of working women's hostels so that women empowerment should be there. Creche for mothers, working mothers. Creche facilities should be there so that they do not have to worry about their children all the time. Now model skill loan scheme is going to be revised and facilitate loans up to 7.5 lakh. I've already discussed this, just ensuring that you have this in a written matter as well so that you can later on revise it. Okay, so all these kind of things are extremely important. You just have to ensure that you constantly revise it, because without revising you are going to forget. New mechanisms for facilitating continuation of bank credit to MSMEs during their stress period. Limit of mudra loans has also been increased from 10 lakh to 20 lakh so that capital gap is not there. Turnover threshold of buyers for mandatory onboarding on TREDS platform is going to be reduced from 500 crore rupees to 250 crore. Financial support for 50 multi-product food irrigation units in MSME sector. This is important because food has to be maintained at a healthy and hygienic space so that we cannot be a question for phytosanitary measures abroad. And thereafter e-commerce export hubs will also be prepared on a PPP model. Other than this, abolition of angel tax has been done so that more and more people can invest into the startup sector. Simpler tax regime has been there, providing for safe harbor rates for foreign mining companies so that India becomes a mining hub as well. However, this has implications for the environmental sector. Corporate tax rate on foreign companies, that means companies who are working in India, this has been reduced from 40% to 35% so that India can get more and more companies from foreign nature to invest in here. That is why we are doing all this. Now, Bihar has gotten the biggest share of the tourism pie as well. Vishnupad temple in Gaya and Mahabodhi temple. This is the Vishnupad temple in Gaya, and the Mahabodhi temple, this is getting a huge amount of money so that they can develop, because corridor on the basis of Kashi Vishwanath temple is going to be built here. Nalanda is already a center of learning, but now it will also become a tourism hub. Rajgir will also be developed as a major tourism site for Hindus, Buddhists and Jain. Again, for road connectivity, Bihar has got 26,000 crore rupees in the budget, and apart from that, government will set up airports, medical colleges, seaports and sports infrastructure in Bihar as well. Rupees 15,000 crore for development of Andhra Pradesh capital as well, because Andhra Pradesh recently changed its capital, so that is why it is important that we do it under the Andhra Pradesh reorganization. I will tell you about that as well. Central assistance is given for rupees 2.2 lakh crore urban housing for the next 5 years. Transit oriented development plan for cities over 13 lakh population so that congestion is not there. For Andhra Pradesh, as I told you, financial support of rupees 15,000 crore has been arranged for fiscal year 2024 and 2025. There will be completion of Polavaram irrigation projects. You know that NDA, that means National Democratic Alliance, is running the government right now. BJP has not been able to win the entire seats that was needed for getting majority. That is why the current government is trying to please those parties who are giving it proper support. For example, Bihar's under Nitish Kumar, and of course Andhra Pradesh is also giving a lot of support to the BJP from NDA. That is why it is important for the current government, current party which has got the maximum amount of seat to please these parties. This is a good thing. Essential infrastructure such as water, power, railways and roads in Kopat-Parthi mode on the Vishakhapatnam Chennai industrial corridor and the Orvakal node on the Hyderabad Bengaluru industrial corridor will also be there. Now moving on, government has kept the capex, that is capital expenditure, at 11.11 lakh crore, 11.11 lakh crore only. Capital expenditure is important because without capital expenditure, employment opportunities will not be there. The amount that the government is choosing to spend here is fine. Thereafter, for tribals, Pradhan Mantri Janjati Unnat Gram Abhiyan has been launched so that there is an improvement in the socio-economic conditions of tribal communities. The scheme will adopt saturation coverage for tribal families who are living in tribal majority villages, and this will cover 63,000 villages, which is benefiting 5 crore tribal people. And this is the second new scheme announced for the tribal welfare within a year. Before that, Pradhan Mantri Janjati Adivasi Nyay Maha Abhiyan PM Janman was launched. From this was then allocation rupees 24,104 crore rupees specifically for PVTGs. There are 75 particularly vulnerable tribal groups who are going to get